account, connect your credit card. For 1 year, you have to pay nothing. But the moment you come in the hardware size, you have to invest on your own hardware. Now, a software guy can start just by having his own computer. He can start building his MVP maybe by using ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can now write the code. They can deploy it. They can do all the CI/CD pipeline, which is like, generally automatic deployment for all the stuff. But when we are talking about again hardware, there is no CI/CD. You got to connect your USB with the hardware, and then you need to write it. You need to build your prototype. You need to see that if this prototype can be built on scale, if it could be affordable. And these are unique challenges which we often don't discuss in the general meets. And this is something which is quite important to understand, because if we don't understand this, we will just remain around software. We will only see software related issues, web related issues, analytics related issues, but we won't be able to go on the core of how the product is built from the scratch. Something like, which automates maybe your washing machine, your fridge, maybe sometime the AI cameras which are coming up, like, the collar cameras which are now coming up, how these are built. So we have 3 founders today who are from basically like, robotics industry, or maybe to be a little broad, they are from IoT industry where they are building the product. Now I would let them introduce themselves, and we will keep the format very, very simple. They will talk a little bit about their company, giving a broad idea what the product will be solving for the market, which industry they are targeting, what is the stage, and what is the stage of funds. Are they funded or they are bootstrapped? They are trying to raise fund, so that we can understand what the stage is and we can be specific to the question to ask him, right? So I will pass the mic and let them introduce themselves. Yeah.
So I'm Asha, I'm the founder of Soch3. We are a product design, development and manufacturing company. We are a 5-year-old startup helping startups, MNCs alike, develop their hardware products from ideation, conceptualization, prototyping, batch production and manufacturing as well. So we hold their hands throughout the development of a product cycle.
You have to introduce yourself.
I have to introduce you as well. I'll fix that in the next talk.
No, let me do that.
Hi everyone, this is Manish. I think this company called Flow Mobility. We are building autonomous vehicles, autonomous material movement machines, which are used across industries. You would have heard of warehouse AMRs. So we are building similar machines, fully autonomous, fully electric, which are used for moving material at construction sites. So sand, cement blocks, bricks, moving them from one place to another. That is what we do. Ours is one of the very few construction robotics companies in India, and we are one of the only ones who have built a machine for moving material at construction sites, which can also do vertical material movement. So our machine can actually enter the hoist or the lift, take the material to a particular floor, dump it there and then come back, completely autonomous without any human intervention. So that's what is our core expertise. Our product spans end-to-end, starting from
just sit down.
hardware, embedded systems or electronics, and obviously the software on top of it. So we also design our own hardware, our fabrication is outsourced. Entire embedded systems, electronics, PCB, motor, controllers, everything that we assemble ourselves. And software, which is basically the brain, which perceives the environment in real time and then navigates in those terrains, is also something which is developed in-house. Part of it is classical, part of it is AI. We are one of the very few companies in India which have built a pure camera-based autonomy. If you would have been following autonomous navigation, a lot of companies use a sensor called LiDAR, which is a very expensive sensor, and hence the application of the autonomous navigation as a technology is limited. Largely, you would have heard about cars or trucks or tractors. But we follow a vision-first or a camera-first approach, where we have built a pure camera or a vision-based autonomous navigation system end-to-end without using any LiDAR. And that gives us a lot of efficiency as far as the cost of the compute, as well as the cost of the stack is concerned, and hence it is much more affordable. And that's the reason why we can say that we are deploying in construction industry in India. Construction industry is not known for paying big bucks for automation. They are one of the last ones to adapt automation. But we have been able to sell our machines to them. We have been able to deliver value to them because of our approach of camera vision first. We started almost 2.5 years ago, raised around $500,000 till now, a team of 15 people based in Bangalore, HSR. We have a small workshop. If you drop by any time, you can see welding, cutting, small prototyping, all happening in the house. And then once the design is finalized, we also do the implementation. So, don't that's about us.
Great. So my name is Shaurya Mishra. I'm the founder of a company called Articulus Surgical. We are probably the only surgical robotic company in India, and globally we have a few claim to fame. We are again Indian companies, the most affordable, of course, the most accessible, and like the smallest, the most portable system that is out there. So just to break it down, basically we build robotic systems which enable surgeons to perform better, more dexterous, more precise surgeries, and ultimately to provide patients with faster recovery time, lower post-operative pain, and so that's basically what our business is. We can talk a lot more about the product later on, but yeah, I mean we've been in existence for the last 2 years. We are currently in the phase of animal trials. So animal trials are going on. We will not be in the market for another 2 years, but we already have like a lot of. There's going to be at least 5 to 10 hospitals that's going to be deployed initially. And it's going to start small, but yeah, that's exactly what we do. What else was that? Funds?
Yeah.
Yeah, similar sort of funds as what Manish said. There's $500,000 roughly around that. Not looking to raise anything for the next 8 months or so. So we're going in a very, very careful and stealth mode. Might not have heard about us, but we will soon come out there. Yeah, so that's about me. I think both Harsha and Manish, we sort of know each other like quite well. The hardware community is a very, very small community here in Bangalore, right? And I was very pleased to see this panel. Sorry to just interject here. So this panel is really good because I know what your backgrounds are, but this panel. So Manish is like, as he said, like great into image processing, path planning, the AI aspect of things. He's really good in the software aspect. Harsha is like a genius when it comes to manufacturing, mechanical engineering, and that part. And I do a lot of embedded systems, electronics, and and control systems in general. So if you have any technical questions, feel free to go into depths because I'm sure you will love it also. Thank you.
Awesome. Definitely, we will go in detail. Before that, I would like to, give a mic and let you introduce yourself. So, speaker also get to know about you, and according to it, they can, share their thoughts, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Anil Narayan. I run a startup called Brandsit. We are in the CIT, branding to consumers through IT. I was just inquisitive to come because I've always wanted to come to eChai event, but the stars never aligned. So today I thought I must go. So it was more to just come, see the event, see the platform. And even hardware is something we usually don't really talk about much in a city like Bangalore. But we have a few customers. One of them is Micron EMS. I don't know if you know about them. They are also into fabrication of electronic products, design and manufacturing in a electronic city. So we do have some idea about our customers that we work with. But it would be very interesting to hear from you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chetna. I am a software tester in an eXhai company in Bangalore. I am just a company with my husband.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, so myself, Bhavik. So basically, I'm from Surat, Gujarat, known for business community. So I mean, I've been working in power industry, hardware industry, so software industry also lately. I'm working with. So I mean, now I want to move it into software, hardware thing. So lately, like I've been working with one startup in Bangalore where I'm helping them to develop their own IoT product that's kind of like Industry of 4.0. I mean that's a broad concept. But then the company is working on climate change, about green energy and those things. So I'm helping them with monitoring their fleet and those things, apart from that core mechanical thing, core chemical and processing. And parallelly I'm working on my own startup, which is like in the field of home automation and industrial 4.0. So base of this startup is basically to take things on internet. So for example, if you are seeing nowadays a lot of things are coming, wind power, solar power, those industry is like booming like anything. Now if you see those industries are located in very far remote places. So kind of like we have one plant in Rajasthan and it's like they have filled that entire desert with the small village with the solar panel. But now you need to go there physically to get your data, to operate something, operate some breaker. So my startup is working basically on that. So we are 2 people currently, and we are. I mean, it's not just one industry, but we are making a platform where you can bring all your data, all your plant over the internet, and then you can control it from anywhere. So that's a very broad idea about it.
Hi, myself Ramesh, the founder of Analyst Private Limited, software and hardware products. Software one is we have the enterprise blockchain platform, which will help them to create the permission blockchain for the crypto and the public. So those who want to create the blockchain, and our tool will help them to create it, deploy it, and own it. Again, this can be helpful if they want to have the blockchain on their own premises. So that is one thing. And second one is the customized vending machines. We are building it currently. So the main aim of the customized vending machine is for
you didn't tell him that it was a
very the threshold. So currently we are building 2 prototypes. One is for the tender component, other one is sugarcane use. So we are going to deploy it in the communities every 2 days or 3 days time frame. Will be keeping the inventory and taking the wastage, and will be basically QR code based kind of checkout system. And the will come up. That is also we are planning. Mostly in a month.
6 o'clock. So there are 5 people. She is the host, I'm the co-host. There are 3 people on the panel, and yeah, they are the participants. So yeah, it just got started maybe 15 minutes ago.
It's a trackable and resizable grid layout for in JavaScript. You can check it out in my website, lemma.in, limd.in.
Hi everyone, I'm Dolly. So I'm just here to explore. This is the first time I came across eChai, so I'm here to explore. So currently I'm working with a map company as a business development executive. So that's what I'm working.
Hi everyone, so myself Chitra. I work as R&D engineer at PD. So I'm here to understand more about the hardware and design development.
It shouldn't be a very big problem, yeah.
So, hi everyone, my name is Kumar Goel. I'm the co-founder of Planetary Demand Research Lab. So, we are an aerospace robotics company. We are developing small robots and classroom satellites for educational purposes, and we are into services also like CAD, CAM, CFD. But yeah, that's it. And we are 2 weeks old. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Mayan. I'm a senior product manager at a Indonesian e-commerce company. They have a big tech office in Bangalore. I'm working out of that. Primarily, I'm working in their fulfillment and warehousing side. So we have been implementing some robotics and automations over there. So more about self-checkout, locker boxes for delivery collection and all those things. So there are multiple things going on. So why not just come here and learn about what things are going on. Maybe
Yeah, just.
Hey everyone, this is Manjit. I'm from Ranchi. I'm working here in Siemens as a developer. I am running a parallel startup in Ranchi called Reality. So we do work in hardware. Basically, we are right now using the hardware available in the market. So we are trying to look up for some expert or some help in the development area so that we can build our own. So that's why I'm here. So just connect with experts or go in that way.
Hi everyone, my name is Vishal. I'm working in the space of blockchain and zero knowledge solution. I'm a startup founder.
Got it.
Hi. I will say late. Sorry for that. My name is Abi. I am from Kerala. I am not from a software, not a hardware background. I am working in software background. I have a startup. It's an analytics side, and I'm here for looking for some ideas, finding new business. That's all. And we are trying to build some dashboards that we can't have with hardware kind of IoT. That's the endeavor.
Yeah, got it.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Lija. I am from Kerala. I usually work with Abi. Actually, I am working as a developer in definitely healthcare company in Bangalore. And I am also not at all background from hardware, but I know how to develop the, communicate the hardware developer. So just came for the networking. That's it. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Saju. I hold a day job in L&D as a product manager. I want to meet other people who are into startup, into this fascinating world of startups, and connect with a few people who can accept me as a collaborator.
Sure.
Thank you so much for doing this meeting.
Yeah, and thank you very much for a very good introduction, right? We have people from different diversities, someone coming from software, in fact, a lot of people coming from software, and a decent percentage of people coming from hardware. Now, as I said earlier, this is a new series which we are trying to start where we can go specific on hardware related questions. So as we go further, we'll see that more and more people will get to know about this specific event, and the crowd and traffic will increase eventually. So every time, this is a thing I want to mention, every time, like last couple of times we have been doing, around 6 o'clock, right, we see 2 people here, 3 people here, and it will be like, today chair is not gonna be full, right? And we start to reduce the radius of it, right, by sitting it out, and then suddenly there are more people. Okay, sure, it looks like it's gonna be filled, and then more people, and suddenly by by once the half of the event crosses, like the second radius start to create, the second circumference, and it just becomes funny. So it's very hard to predict the traffic here, and I hope that there will be some kind of analytics for that, so that I can assure what kind of radius should be built. Yeah. Okay, so my question is, when you are getting started with your product, especially in the construction side, right, there are a lot of skepticism, right, that they don't know that what this tech company is going to do. Now, if you see the past, Amazon or other e-commerce companies, they went ahead, they connected with so many bookstores, and they were getting the book sold from there, right? And eventually what happened that after a period of time when business became mature, the supply increased, the profit increased, Amazon started to produce the books themselves. They started to license themselves. Now, this is a fear, right? This is a fear among those sellers, right? So now when you go and approach these companies, being building tech, I'm curious that what kind of response and what kind of a bizarre answer do you get from them? And not just bizarre, but what kind of answer do you get? What kind of hard faces do you see there, and how do you deal with those?
So I can answer the question at 2 levels. One is at the tech level, autonomous technology in itself has to also answer the same question, that how it would become mainstream, and then it can come to construction also. So autonomous, again, autonomous navigation in the last 4 or 5 years, we have seen so much traction. But still, when you see autonomous car for the first time, I don't know how many of you have seen a car running without a driver. It's a surreal experience. It's like you see something wrong, right? It's not natural, right? Now, to answer your question, every new technology has to cross this valley of before they actually get adopted in mainstream. has to cross this value of building the trust, right? That's what we are talking about. First time when they see the technology, it's new, they don't believe it. After some time, it starts becoming part of the process, and that's when the adoption happens. For example, let's say when somebody would have seen the lift for first time, right? People are using stairs. First time when someone saw a lift, they said, okay, there's a box, completely closed, I have to go inside this, and this will take me to the higher floor. Doesn't seem likely at all, right? And today, we don't even think, we subconsciously actually enter the lift, press the button and go to the floor. Right? That's how technology evolves. So autonomous navigation as a technology today is at a phase where it is answering some of those questions, that whether it will become mainstream, whether it is as good as a human driver. Statistics say that a very primitive autonomous navigation system is better than an average human driver on the road, especially in Indian roads. But then technology has to prove itself, right? And that's the whole point. Coming to specific use case of construction, it's even further worse because construction is a very, very fragmented, unstructured market, right? It's a labor-intensive processes. Real estate as an industry itself is not looked upon as an innovative, tech-savvy industry. They are one of the last ones to adopt, right? So there's a lot of we are evaluated with a very skeptical lens for sure. That the first impression is it wouldn't work. That's how every new technology, more so in construction, it wouldn't work. That's what the first standard response that we get. We say, okay, if it wouldn't work, let's just try it out for 2 weeks without any commercials and see if it works. And then we can see the transition which is happening in those two. So as I said, for every technology this is true, be it software, be it hardware. Hardware, I feel it's sometimes easier for us to get adoption because we can show something, right? And we can actually try it out. But to answer your question, we cannot run away from the responsibility of proving the power of the technology. Till the time that happens, we will be evaluated very, very harshly. Market is brutal, right? Nobody is here to, it doesn't matter whether you are a founder, toiling day and night and spending midnight oil building, but nobody cares about that. Right? The product has to create value. So for us, I think if you ask me, how as a founder, we should address this, is think about what value that your product is creating and sell that. Right? Nobody wants a product, nobody wants autonomous navigation. What they want is what this machine which is running driverlessly can do for me. Can it move goods better? Can it move goods faster? Can it save time? Can it save cost? And once that happens, adoption happens. Right? So I think that's how I would respond to that. People are very, very harshly criticizing, evaluating the technology, but once they see the impact, there's no going back.
You talked about a very interesting thing. No commercial intent, no commercial agreement, right? Just test it out. See if it works. If it's a mixer, fine. You just put the mixer for 14 days and maybe just to prove that MVP is working, you will likely put cameras there so that you can prove your investor that someone is using it and it's actually working. And then that gives a very good opportunity of raising funds, at the same time creating a dependency if the technology has worked. Basically, a very good step towards MVP, isn't it?
That's how you seed the market. We call this process seeding the market. You seed the market, get the early users, show the traction, go back to investors, raise money, and then repeat the cycle. That's probably, I think, true for all startups.
It's very interesting right now, the stage of construction industry, especially in India, we have not seen a lot of automation happening. Same thing if we talk about the opportunity in other industries where industry has become mature. Let's say industry like CRM. The industry has been existing for 20-25 years, and now the salespeople do not have that opportunity of test it for 15 days, but it's more like we are going to save you 70% because this company is charging you so much. This company XYZ, for example, let's say Salesforce has 2000 features and you use only 64 features. We have built those 64 features and you'll be able to save the overall cost of running a CRM by 65% or 70%. So it's very interesting to see, like, how, the industry is built up for you, and if scaled properly, I think you are going to scoop it up. That's what I see the opportunity like.
Massive, it's massive opportunity globally. Just India is just scratching the surface. Places like US, Middle East, a lot of construction happening. The labor charges there are much higher. Minimum wages in US will be about $3,500 versus let's say $15,000 in India. So massive opportunity.
Right. My next question is to Saurya. Saurya is building his company in the space of healthcare, and he has to deal with a lot of regulations. Now, there are a lot of US-based companies, right, that have built the product. They have got the FDA approval and other kind of approval which are needed to make the machinery happen. Now, what I have seen in the past is, like, often when US government or FDA has approved this kind of stuff, Indian, government is kind of lenient on that. They are in a position like, okay, they have done it, they have done the test, let us approve it. Now, the question here is, like, when US people had already resources, a lot of resources to build this, and they are somewhere 4 steps ahead of us on most of the things, how challenging is it for you to build a product from scratch or build a company from scratch where you have to deal with a lot of things? What are the repercussions which you have to face? What kind of issues you have to face? So yeah, that's something to.
Okay, so that's a very complicated question. A lot of things going on there. Let me first start with FDA. The question about FDA, right? So I hope most of you know what US FDA is, right? So it's the organization that approves the use of a new drug or a new medical device in North America, right? And it is globally accepted as the leader in regulation. So if a device is FDA approved, then it's like a trade device. We have a similar thing in India as well. It's called the CDSCO. It is under the Ministry of Healthcare, and they also approve our devices, and it's slightly less stringent than FDA. So look, frankly, if there is another company in the US, for example, they are building something, trying to solve a similar problem, and they have an FDA approval, they have a ready product out into the market, there may be 100 companies, or there aren't 100 companies, maybe there are 5 different companies which build products which solve or do or perform the same surgeries that we do, right? But there is a concept in a startup or in business which is called the village knowledge, right? I know what is the problem in my village. I know how to solve that. I know, like, where the road is slippery. I know which well to get the water from, right? And therefore, this is so our knowledge of the Indian geography, let's start with India itself, is much better. So we will be able to, the product that we create will cater to the Indian ecosystem and the Indian industry way better than anything else that comes from outside. This is concept number 1. Concept number 2 is India accounts for roughly around 3 to 5% of the healthcare expenditure globally, while from a percentage, like a population percentage, they're like about 1/5 of that. So there is still a lot of money there, and there's still a lot of cases that needs to happen. And I know there are people from BD and different places. You guys will also agree with me. That's the second point that is there. Third point is, and this is the most firm belief why we decided to build this product in India. India is at a very amazing cusp when it comes to technology, right? In healthcare, we have a great number of amazing surgeons. Our surgeons and our doctors are probably the best in the world. And I'm not just saying it because I'm an Indian, people say this, right? Second point is that we have a very strong sense of value. We don't add bells and whistles to what we build. We build products that solve one core problem. I don't want to solve 100 problems, I'll only solve 80% of the problems at 20% of the price. And that will make it a great product for a great adoption. And that's basically our approach.
I remember Novartis in 2013. This company was producing very specific and very important drugs for issues like cancer, HIV and other stuff. And this drug was very expensive, and they had the licensing, they were licensed in globally. And what eventually happened, that because they had that license and patent, other manufacturers were not able to produce that and sell that, and that became a problem because it's a life-saving drug. It can save lives of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, and it was becoming challenging. Now this is where I saw this very interesting part, step taken by Indian government, that they basically asked the company that, hey, we have people suffering with the issue which you have already resolved, and we are not in position to afford your medical drug, right? And people were not able to, because it was very, very expensive. It was built for the US market, and they said that it's not built for Indians. Now, whenever something like this happens, government, a good government, let me be even more specific, a good government often takes the favor of the people. They go on how we can save our people, how we can save lives, because again, the economy is dependent on that. And Indian government took decision basically to allow other local manufacturers to produce that drug with the same salt, same formula, and produce it at quite cheaper rate. And because government allowed that, the other company was not able to do anything about it, because it's life-saving drug, and if they did a lot of things, they could have lost a lot of reputation. So when I see what difference do we make compared to US, in addition to what you said, we see this cost factor. NASA has millions and millions, in fact billions of funding, but we still end up producing our Chandrayaan in less than budget of a Bollywood movie. Now we have very interesting characters, and we have seen this in real time. It's nothing to over appreciate something, but it's something more necessity is the mother of invention, and we end up seeing that and we end up building that. So I think that in your case also, because we have mass adoption, maybe the problem of very expensive operations will likely come down due to the machines which you'll be building, and again it will go on the factor of cost, that go ahead and build affordable apparatus so that doctors can use that and go around. So
let me add something else. So I slightly disagree with that.
Sure.
Right. When the government of India decided that we will take a very, very costly medication which is available outside and make it available for people because it's a life-saving drug, we have to understand this decision is in a silo, right? It came along with a lot of other decisions, right? If you look at how the healthcare industry or the health ministry is moving, right? Now they are making it much, much easier for people to discover new drugs in the country. The process of creating what we call new product development in pharma. Are there people from pharma background?
It should start at 7:30.
So if you come much easier for us, if I was doing this company maybe 5 years ago, it would have been maybe 10 times more difficult than what it is now. So we are really, really, really thankful for the government for doing that. While at the same time, also understand this is not a very healthy thing for economy or free market as well, right? Because if you are spending millions and then ultimately your profitability is taken out of the question, nobody else will basically do this again. And then you are losing out on the discovery of hundreds and thousands of life-saving drugs that could potentially come up. So there has to be a balance between the two, right? You protect people on one side and you protect free market and business on the other, right? Because ultimately, let's be very clear, right? Nobody is here to do pure charity. People want to make business, people want to make revenue, and that's how the wheel of innovation and the wheel of improving mankind will
Right. I completely agree with that, because making it absolutely zero will eventually collapse the economy, and that gonna be a very big nightmare. So now my question is to Harsha from Source 3D. Now he has been consulting a lot of enterprise companies, small, medium-sized companies, companies that are just getting started with a bigger vision, or companies that are very well funded, have a lot of money, but they are specific with the problems. Now my question is that, from your point of view, because you have dealt with a lot of these businesses, where is this IoT industry is pushing up? Where do you see that this automation is moving up, because you are dealing with this? What kind of intensity is building up slowly in the market?
I would say the rate at which IoT industry is growing is huge. But as retail consumers, we don't see that, because a lot of companies that we work with make solutions for businesses. So they are huge companies. In fact, they lose hundreds of crores of revenue, to be honest. Yet we don't know their names, because the true capability of IoT is often realized in the industries, in the businesses that need this. Mostly they are deployed in different type of manufacturing facilities, different production units, refineries, you name it, right? So we see that the sheer number of IoT customers that we deal with has been increasing over the past 5 years. They are very frugal, they build, as Shaurya said, very dedicated systems that solve a particular problem, and they do that well. So yeah, there's a huge scope for IoT companies, and what I see is we need to provide good packaged products to the market instead of them looking like DIY ones or even not completely thought through.
Got it. A follow-up question to that is like, when you are talking about, I believe that most of your clients are from India, are they?
Yes.
Right. When we talk about Indian clients, there are a lot of challenges with it, a lot of challenges. It can be a business which have crores and crores of amount in their bank account, but they are still not open for new innovation. Other challenges can be, although they want innovation, but they want it so cheap that unless they realize value, they cannot scale. And a lot of companies, like, the challenges go deeper and deeper. Sometimes they work on the profit side, sometimes they work on commission side, sometimes they work on upfront side. Now, in last 10 years, I have seen a lot of changes happening in this, where businesses earlier preferring to, making consultants dependent on profit, now realizing that no, the market is big, I will pay the whole money upfront and I will own the whole technology rather than giving a share of it. So what kind of experiences have you been experiencing in general client discussions and arguments?
Wanting a product cheap is something that will never go away. Everyone would want to build their product in the cheapest price possible. So we don't think of our offerings in terms of the prices that we provide, but more in terms of the value that we add towards a particular offering that we make. And when companies see the value, they, as you said, in the recent years, they don't quite care about if we are charging them slightly more than the market price, as long as we are adding value to their product development. It can come in any form, like we can help them develop their product very fast, with a good quality, with certain exceeding their expectations, or even just achieving what they want. So that itself adds a significant amount of value in a very unorganized Indian market that exists right now.
Got it. That's great. Now, next question, we will try to go around something that not everyone likes, something which has to do with marketing and sales. You are technical people. I believe that a good percentage of this crowd is technical people. They love sitting on computers, they love interacting with electronics, but when it comes to take the product to the market, they go ahead and search on Google how to do the stuff. And what you see on the top is ads by Facebook, ads by Google. They simply say you that, you know what, add money to our bank account or add money to our account, put your form. We don't care if people fill the form or not, we're going to charge you pay per click, right? And this is very, very unorganized manner for a startup founder, because they don't have a lot of money in their bank account to pay Google and Facebook, right? In fact, they might not be having all the technical stuff to put the form and do all those stuff and pay Google. So my question to this industry, or let me be more specific, couple of boring industries like, no disrespect to your construction industry, I'm just calling it boring because I feel it is, right?
You mean buildings?
Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you for that. Right, thank you for that. So how do you generally interact with the customers here? Like, do you do Facebook ads, do you do Google ads, or you just directly walk in and see that, oh, they got a very big office, a lot of construction is happening, this is where I need to enter. So I'm curious to know, how do you do that?
Just to add to this, I have also worked in hardware for some time. What I would like to know from you, and I think it will be beneficial to all of us, if you provide certain numbers, let me just set the context.
So let us say that, okay, each of you built first prototype. Right? How much money did you spend on the first prototype, like rough numbers? How many engineers were put into it? Like 2, 3, 4, 1, right? What are the tools did you use, like in terms of software and hardware? And how much money did you spend on, say, marketing initially? Like just rough numbers, or even if you don't want to disclose, that's fine. But it gives us a perspective, like if we want to start something like this is what we are trying to look in terms of resources.
Sure.
Yeah. See, my take is going to be very weird in this, right? But okay. First of all, my question back to you: why do you want to create a prototype?
We'll be doing that discussion in 30 minutes. Yeah, sure. So I will just pause there and let us be specific to the first one, which will be like, how do you market your product initially? Like, you have all these challenges, right?
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's finish that. So, okay, first of all, it might sound something very wrong to say the hardware bit, but probably marketing is more important than the product itself.
I agree with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Trust me when I say this, right? And it took me a very long time to understand this, right? We are not going into depth of the reasons, but the concept that we believe in marketing is that one, your market always proves your product, right? So that is something you need to always respect. Two, we as a company also, we love to swim in the blue ocean. So we love to operate in an industry, and in fact even Manish also. Like,
don't enable discussion right now. This will not be right. So otherwise everything will get busted. Don't do.
So that's the second point. Third point that is the concept of find the right watering hole. Right? If I go and I put Facebook ads or ads or other kind of ads, that's great for a B2C company that's selling like baked chips or something like that, which are great by the way. But if you are selling a medical device, right? I need to be very targeted on how do I sell it and who do I sell it to, how do I market it, right? What would be the best way to find surgeons and doctors, right? You go to a conference. They love coming to conferences. Put up a stall there, right? Or in fact do a very opposite, very indirect marketing. Write research papers. Sponsor doctors to write research papers on a subject, right? And mention a little bit about your product without even taking the name of it. Right? So do that. So that is the kind of, marketing is very, very dependent on the industry. For us, we are not, we do not do any kind of social media marketing. If we choose to do, that will be only to create a sense or a feel or a flavor for the brand activists. It will never be to promote a product. You never do advertising to promote a product. You do to give a good, feel good factor to your brand. So
Got it.
That's my take on that.
Sure.
So yeah, I just probably add on that, right? So, hardware product decision to buy, right, always happens with a physical touch point. It's a fundamental difference between a hardware product and a software product. So specific to flow mobility, again, and there's a lot of context to this. I'll try to see if we can put a framework around there, right? So for us to sell our products, we need to do two things. There are two ways, right? One is inbound, one is outbound, right? Social media is a very good way to generate inbound leads, as simple as that. But a product which is whose value is not completely tangible, right? By looking at it, you cannot say what benefit do I get from this. For products like that, we have to do consultative selling, which means for at least product like ours, there's a lot of outbound B2B. Right? So in a B2B environment, for outbound sales, feet on street and reaching out to people is, I think, the most, I would say, best ROI that you could get on your time. So having said that, we do both. We do both social media. Social media is a way for us to share with the world our journey of building this product. In that process, we intrigue some interest and then some leads come in where we start telling them about our product journey. But after that, the process is still same. When I outbound lead, when I go and approach someone, go into a demo, do a POC, and things like that. So we are very outbound heavy. Largely as of now, again, as I said, there's a lot of context and a lot of dependency on the stage where startup is like now we're focusing mostly on India. So hence, most of our outbound is network driven. and we use LinkedIn a lot for doing outreach, cold outreach. But beyond India, the moment we go outside India, there is another angle of we are onboarding channel partners who are basically expert in that particular geography, and they are the ones who are doing outbound reach. So that's, I think, how we would see the entire inbound, outbound, or social media marketing for us. I think Shaurya very aptly put it right. Social media for hardware company. Social media is a way to build a brand. Sales is you have to go put your product out there, let people try that, and once they see the value, they come and take it. But there are multiple ways to do it. You give them a free POC, or you events, for example. I think is something which I would recommend to every hardware founder. Events is the best place to showcase your product and get the most relevant crowd, the best ROI on your marketing budget can come from events. So we participate in events and we do, as I said, at this stage, ours is hardcore outbound B2B network based reach. That's the way to crack, at least Indian market, that's how you crack it. Even for software, I've done a software startup before this, a B2B SaaS company, and just before this I was running an EdTech company, which is a B2C. Across the board, I could see that in India, things are changing now, but self-serve or cloud-based solutions in itself, beyond a point, don't take off. There's still a lot of physical touch points, and then going and doing a demo and meeting people as well. Any decision where probably a monthly subscription is more than $1,000, there has to be a physical touch point, is what is my observation of the industry. And hence, I think at least Indian market will still be very, very relationship and physical touch point oriented sales closure versus a pure B2B Facebook ad funnel that you call it, right? You have to make an ad, put a budget there, and then you make the entire funnel and then get the conversion on the website. So that's our take on it.
I absolutely agree to that, and it was year 2017 when I was working as a business development manager in a top marketing company in Hyderabad, and we were selling digital marketing to companies. Although these companies were coming on our website and filling the form, they would never convert on a call or a digital meeting. And eventually it became more or less like a law that digital marketing should be sold by going to their office, and then you show them the same creative. Yeah, you have to do physical marketing. By going there, you have to do the physical sales, and then give them confidence that yes, you can build that. Let be it a very bad presentation, doesn't matter. And my manager, he had a very different law on presentation. He never used to carry a presentation, never. He will just go see in his eye, directly, very openly ask questions, and absolutely disagree on 7 out of 10 points he will be telling. Now this is where he was like, building the authority in terms of sales, that what you have been doing so far is wrong, what I'm telling is right, irrespective of what he's telling is right or not. He was just building this authority. And then what was happening was very surprising, like 8.5 was average conversion rate out of all the meetings which we were doing, because it was like general scenario used to be like, these people have seen some video, they have taken some course for 500 rupees, 1000 rupees on marketing, they have gone created all this ad budget and Google ads, they spent a lot of money, didn't get the ROI, now they don't know what to do. And this is where digital marketing agency was coming in the picture. So at this point of time, they were not converting only to growth, they were converting how not to waste the money, and that used to be also our sales point. So just giving a little bit of glance on that, yeah. Got it. So next thing which I would like to add a little bit around, like your industry was, there was one company which was in med tech, and their product was basically related to machine learning, where the digital X-ray print was being given to that machine as an input, and the machine learning algorithm was telling that what kind of issue does it have with the chest, or like bone or bone fractures and all this stuff. And they were trying for LinkedIn. Now if you have tried already marketing, most of you might be knowing that LinkedIn is very expensive. They also tried with Facebook, Google ads, all of this became expensive. And randomly they hired a digital marketer who was like, who was not really a professional digital marketer, but he was like, give a shot, we will see, right? and he tried on Instagram. Now everyone sitting there was like, Instagram, are you kidding? Like Instagram, how Instagram is going to perform? People are not there, right? Turned out that Instagram became their one of the most cheapest way to get all the leads. Now, as a marketer, it's not about that you got the numbers. Now you need to find the reason why that worked, right? And we went deeper around it, and what we found was there are people behind the table who might be on managerial position, who might be on the leadership position. All of these people use Instagram. They might not be using in front of their co-workers because it impacts their reputation and authority, but they actually use Instagram. They watch reels behind the table, and they were seeing this content, and they were able to target through that. Now, it was quite interesting to see. I'm just giving a glance that, like, if give a try, if you are not able to convert them, and if the lead cost is not coming cheaper, maybe something can work out around this.
Just
Yeah,
want
sure.
to add a very quick point to this.
Sure, please.
So when it comes to medical devices, particularly in this field, there is a level of ethics that goes behind it. So ideally, we should never market our product like surgical robotic test problem solved to patients.
Okay.
It's unethical. So therefore, our product can and never will be on any social media platform that you will be able to see the product and say that, hey, this is amazing. We do not want to influence the patient. We will only reach out to doctors. See, that's the difference, right?
I agree.
So I can talk about articles. I can do a lot of things about articles. Articles stands for retail API, stands for vertical integration, stands for amazing technology. I will not say anything about what we make. Right? So there is a slight bit of caveat when it comes to that.
I agree.
I'm a little surprised at how the ML company was doing that, because this is actually illegal.
It's illegal to target those people? To target doctors?
No, to target general public.
It was targeting the doctor.
No,
Before.
even after the approvals.
Yeah, like especially in
So
health.
if you as a company are giving a suggestion to a patient, you guys remember Abhi recently what happened, these people who were giving financial advice?
Yeah. The regulation, yes.
It's a very similar situation when it comes to medical science also. Can I go and advertise, let's say, levocetrizine or Montecelsi on like a tablet on Instagram? Can I do that? I can't do that.
So that's, you are saying the legal laws prohibit?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a part of the Indian CDSA.
I agree with that totally. And if you are targeting the customers, be ready for account bans, because we have seen, especially in the chemical industry, Facebook is the worst, especially when it comes to ad account bans. They won't even respond you for 14 days, 1 month, 3 months. What's the reason? They will simply say you violated our privacy policy in terms of service. Now you go and read and go in the rabbit hole of understanding what their privacy policy is. You'll never be. So I absolutely agree with that. So yeah,
I'll just add
please.
The initial question of which marketing channel to choose. Right? So I kind of understand both their perspectives, and we have more learnings from that. So initially we were a service, yes, right? We were providing different types of prototyping services to different startups. So what we found was initially we were doing only digital marketing. Though we were receiving sensible leads, as Manish said, we found out that adoption was much better when we went and met our customers in person. And if you're not sure, the best way to get leads is attend these events. Especially when you're an early stage startup, you're heavily subsidized by government as well, as long as you're registered for MSME. So you don't even have to spend much to attend these events. And you get very leads to you. That's all.
Okay, great. So I will ask a couple of questions to understand the audience better.
Hardware. Yeah, it's a hardware mentor, it's expected.
Oh yeah. Thank you for saving me, huh? Yeah. Okay. So the next thing is I just want to understand the audience Like, can you please raise your hand if you are a founder or co-founder? Great. And how many of you are willing to get into the tech industry and currently working as a full-time employee? Got it. Got it. Got it. Great. So how many of you want me to take name of couple of free tools which you can use for audience research? You can get their email address. You literally enter the LinkedIn URL of the person and you will get their email address. How many of you want me to tell you the name of the tools? Please raise your hand. You want to tell? Oh, you want that as well. So it is Apollo.io, right? Apollo.io is a very interesting tool. They have the paid version, but freemium is amazing for you. Go ahead and sign up with that. I'm not a promoter. I'm also a free version user. I'm also a paid version user, but I'm just trying to give some resources to you guys so you can go and do your initial research. That's one. Second one is if you want to know your competitor, that where they are driving traffic from, then there is something called SEMrush. Now again, this has general freemium plan. You will be able to see how much traffic is being driven, which keyword they are driving traffic for, and which country they are driving the traffic from. Now on initial level, it will just give you the initial data, but anything specific which you want to do around, you can connect the marketers in the space, or we are also the marketers in the space. So yeah. Okay. So now, let us talk a little bit about prototyping and production. Now, I'm a software guy. There are a couple of more software guys here in the space, and for the people who are coming from software to the hardware space, can you take some tool names and hardware names which they can use for prototyping, and then where they should be going to get their initial product built once the prototype is done? So some resources can you share? Yeah.
That's a very wide question if you ask me. So if you define, let's say you want to build a product in the IoT segment, right? So more often than not, what the core of it has to relies on the electronics itself. There are multiple platforms where you can easily get these electronics from. And if you want to build an enclosure for that and make it look a little more refined, you can reach out to any company similar to us, or maybe initially just put it in a simple box. That's it.
Got it. But the enclosure comes later. Let us say initially when the product is built. Now I'm a computer science guy. When I was in second year, I borrowed from my senior the Arduino and started doing some tinkering here and there. Later came Raspberry Pi. We did a couple of things. So can you take some tools? I believe that there are some small tools available, programmable, maybe Pi Zero or some other stuff. Those things.
Correct. So Pi is a slightly different platform, but you have a wide range of products in that ecosystem itself. You can typically use Pi-based platforms as well. We see a lot of IoT companies, well-established IoT companies using Pi-based platforms as well. Some initial exploration, if you want to keep it simple in terms of the embedded complexity, you can try your Arduinos as well, just to make a POC, proof of concept. But then you can migrate to more rigid and robust systems. So yeah, in a way similar to Pi-based systems, Arduino-based systems. There are other simpler electronics that are available in the market that help you remove the jargon of electrical stuff, and then just maybe get into that and implement simple logics and algorithms, sensor-based executions, etc.
Got it.
Can I add?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so again, so there are two parts. If you're a software guy coming into hardware IoT, so shall we focus on IoT?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a very narrow field
Sure.
of hardware. So, and I think none of us are in IoT. Yeah, right. So I would suggest generally try not to go with an Arduino. Right? It's a counterintuitive thing. Because Arduinos are actually obsolete at this point of time. If you want to build something lasting, or if you want to, it's going to take you a couple of days more. Go for an STM32 based board, right? STM32. system. STM. It's not an STM. It's a microcontroller. It has 2 cores. Like I said, 2 core one and there are 4 core ones also. It's a microcontroller. It's a microcontroller.
We'll go in 13 minutes.
Especially the blue chip, you can use blue chips. You can use UPS. How much does it cost? In some thousand, less than 1,000.
Please keep your phone notes open, right? A lot of good stuff is being talked here and be very fast to type. Maybe if you are smarter, just open voice recording and go back to home and just text to speech, get all the important stuff. Yeah.
So there's a specific reason why I said STM32. You can also go to Node MCUs. Yeah. Node MCUs are great if you are connected to the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. I would personally suggest not to go into the Raspberry Pi ecosystem or the Pico ecosystem, not to go there. It has reliability issues and there are a lot of chip shortages of the Pi 1060 chip, 180 chip, right, which is used on the Raspberry Pi. So if you want to, at some point of time commercialize it, it will not be available. But is it obviously yes or question? ESP is also
nowadays I'm seeing most of the IoT devices you find those things.
Correct. But I'm a big fan of STM personally because there are two cores, so you can do communication with one core and you can do processing with the other.
Which is can be installed in a lightweight operating system?
Yes. You can put like embedded ROS communication. You can put a ROS client.
Because I think putting an operating system for me is a primary requirement because there are a lot of libraries in Node.js, Python that I can't put on Arduino, right? Then once I put an OS on the system, on the hardware, then it's easy for me to code the library from the...
So we can discuss that. It depends on particularly which library you want to do. It depends on the camera
So okay, let's just go where it goes, right? So start from hardware. First step in hardware is you have to get the CAD. Get the CAD and get the best prototype. And there is this tool called GrabCAD. Anything that you see physically, go and put the link, then you will be able to get a CAD figure. Just take it, modify it, get it to be printed. That's your first hardware. Then comes the electronics piece, which is what we're talking about. So Arduino is a microcontroller. So what is the device supposed to do? If the device is supposed to do a lot of real-time processing, Arduino is not. Arduino is just a microcontroller. You just take the command, process it, send it. It's not supposed to run an AI model. It's not supposed to do any real-time processing coming from sensors, reading the sensors, or all that. For that, you need a compute board. Compute board is where Raspberry Pi starts, and from Raspberry Pi all the way to you have Jetson Nano, then you have Orion. There's a bunch of a complete host of range. Starting from 5,000 rupees all the way to 5 lakh rupees. That's how wide the range is. Like. STM is just to make the do a quick and dirty prototyping. Sensors, put the sensors on your device, put the STM, do a basic programming, and then start running. Then comes the third piece, is basically the software, right? It not just the hardware and the electronics, which is where you have especially for hardware companies. Anybody who's thinking of doing a hardware startup, do a lot of simulation. Right? So you have robotics companies, for example, this Gazebo is again a tool for simulating movement. There are quite a few tools to visualize or to simulate how the hardware would respond in a particular terrain or environment. And then there are tools for embedded systems again for PCB design, for example. Anything you do, you have to have a whole PCB code on which your Arduino to go, on which your vacuum to go. So again, there are tools there for designing the PCB, and then you can get it printed. There are a lot of people who do it on demand also, when you just give them the requirement that this is what I need. This is the sensor, this is my microcontroller, this is my battery. I need a circuit to be done. Manual itself, we have Orion, we have 3-4 decent things. So I think that is how you should go about building a prototype. Right? It's a very, and I think that is something which I just wanted to add my point of view, that is something that as Indians we really excel at. Right? We are very good at building the first initial prototypes of MVP, so-called MVP in hardware terminology. Is by using these techniques. Right? You take 3D print the device, put a PCB on top of it, connect the sensors, get the battery, make it run. So there are quite a few tools like that. And now these days there are other tools which do end-to-end. Again, simulating environments where you don't need to really build the entire thing. You can just code it in the what is the game engine called? Unity, for example. Right? Unity. A lot of people are using Unity for doing the entire end-to-end simulation, even before building. It's a game engine.
Whatever you have sold in the
Yeah. So rather than building the product and then putting my sensor on top of it and then doing the programming and then making it run in the physical world and see how it would respond, I can do this entire thing in Unity with a couple of plugins here and there to build. See, I don't need to build it hardware, it's a software that is inside the Unity. I can build my device. I can do all the kinematics there. I can do all the force services there inside the game engine, and then do my software programming there and see how it responds. Okay, if a prompt comes in, how it will respond. And it's a game engine. That's right. It's a Unity, Unreal, these are all game engines.
Why not? Unity is not a game engine.
It's a physics engine. It just simulates
Kind of simulation. So
yeah.
it actually gives a very good. So it's up to you how good use of that tool do you make. But it's really like that's why I think when we have to do more with this, that is something that is a very good way to test it out and see how the thing will respond before creating even the first physical prototype. So there are a lot of tools like that, and these days again there are a lot of what you call boutique workshops which are happening. For example, compute code that we talked about, right? There are people who are now selling the entire compute code along with the sensors. For example, you want to do some IoT where you have to have temperature. Right? There will be a compute code already available which will already have a temperature sensor and the battery built into it. Just go take that, start building on top of it. And then at scale, none of this would work. As I think Shaurya rightly mentioned, at scale, Arduino goes with Raspberry Pi, none of this would work. But at scale, you can always go and build your own code. That's what we have done after a point. But till that point, best thing is, whatever your use cases, go and find a code which is closest to your requirement, take it and start building.
It's very similar to the software, like
Absolutely, that's what we have to take our learnings from software. That's the reason why I said that the Indians are really good at it, because somehow we have ingrained that approach in our software thing. When we talk about waterfall, we used to talk about waterfall, and then we used to talk about agile. Agile implementation in hardware is something which I've really seen Indians and Chinese are very good at it. Like the way you do very rapid prototyping and able to come up with a final hardware product is something which is very the oldest companies from India have a great edge as compared to, let's say, companies in Germany or US where they take much longer gestation periods to actually build it out, which is where some of our companies are able to do it much faster.
Why is it so in emerging? Like, why don't they understand whatever you have told? It's very exciting.
I love this, I love this back and forth question, and in every event, this is always my goal, that I take the event to a peak where people start to discuss this, right? And they do this back and forth for 3.5 minutes, and I come and interrupt. I'm sorry, I really don't mean that, but as a host, I have to be a little bit responsible here. But I really love the energy here, right? Like, we took the conversation to a level where all these three founders got excited, right? They got excited. He's talking about it's a game engine or it's an engine. He gave the most accurate answer. It's a physics engine. Like, do whatever you want to with that physics engine, and it's great. So one thing I wanted to add on that is, like, AWS has very good ecosystem. On the freemium plan, you can literally do a lot of stuff. You can literally take very small IoT devices and you can connect. You don't need to build a whole REST API and do all the stuff. That means that you can just stick to what you are building, right? And they got the deployment level. If you want to do S deployment, you can do that.
I think that has everything. GCP has that.
Yeah. So correct. So I'm just pointing it out because it is in the ecosystem, and rather than building maybe something from scratch from Node, because again you have to deal with Express, you have to deal with authentication. You can just focus on building the core logic, maybe deploying there, and that may resolve it. Most of that may reduce a lot of work which generally needed a lot of REST API calls and REST API development. Okay, so now officially I will not be the breaker anymore. I will open the question to public. It was my responsibility to take it till here and not let the big discussions happen. Now I open it up for you. Please open your questions and ask your question back and forth. And after this, we'll open up for networking after the photo. Okay? Sure. Please.
And then he went on.
I had just two questions, very short.
Yes.
Providing 2 lines of signals. My first question was what you were discussing. Why Germans or they are testing machines, right? Why don't they understand whatever you have told regarding eChai and details?
I broke him.
So why don't they understand?
You can. I have a very amazing answer for this. Great. So, you know what you were talking about, which we Indians is great at, build fast, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, fail fast, fail cheap kind of approach, does not work in all industries. It does not. Right? It will work great in an IoT industry. It will work great in, let's say, if you're building a 3D printer. It will work great even if you're building a mini CNC system. Even in your industry, it will work great, right? Because the sometimes the problems that we need to approach, actually it will also not work in your industry, right? Because if the more complex the problem becomes, right, you need to stop the mindset of fail fast, fail cheap, and go for slow and steady approach to build a great product, right? You are still constantly communicating with the market. You are still constantly doing your validations, right? But you are not pushing the product into the market, right? And this is where we Indians are also very bad. And this is something I always tell all my hardware founders, right? Your first thing should never be a prototype. Do not build a prototype. Build the vision, build the business, build what you are going to do, and build a PPT. Build a PPT, build a deck first. Product comes later, right? If you are able to crack that, if you are able to do your mom test, I hope everyone knows what the mom test, right? Can you explain your mom what you're building in like 2 lines and she will say, "Ha, beta, badhiya hai, job karo." Right? That if you are able to do that, that is a great point to start. Sorry? Mom will never say that. Oh, they will say.
So basically, again, this is the approach is what I'm talking about, right? Approach of doing more with less, right? See, there's a difference between not doing a good job of it. I'm not saying that do a shoddy job of making your product, right? I think that's thanks sorry for bringing that element. Understand the difference between these two, right? How can I do more for less? That doesn't mean that I should do bad, right? That is something which is where I'm saying, as in India or especially, we have some kind of ingrained into us on how we actually achieve more with less because of whatever. There's a big history to that and the way we have evolved and things like that. So that is something that I think is a very good way for us to leverage. And just to add to what Shaurya was saying, this is all valid till the time you reach a point where you have not finalized your use case. Once you have done that, then you have to go deep and build it out very, very super high quality. That approach doesn't change where you are in the world, be it Germany, be it US, be it India. China, that approach changes because they have a very different way of productionizing things, right? There's a government way of productionizing things where they always see at scale. But otherwise, what I talk about is how do you do that? Prototyping, you finally reach a use case where you can get a validation that, okay, this is the best that I should go about, right? Before we, probability, for example, before we narrowed down on construction, we did pilots across maybe 6 or 7 industries. Our first product that we created was an autonomous scooter. It was a kick scooter where you actually stand and ride. That was the first product that we built. But when we took it to market, we realized, oh, this is not something which can scale, at least at this point in time. Then we
scale in terms of market or product?
In terms of market, business, right? Product, market, everything is a subset of business. Scale, when we are building a startup, it's basically make a big company. Scale, sell it to more people, sell it with significant margin, make money, right? That's what I mean by scale in the business. At that time, we had to do rapid prototyping, right? And that is where you have to be very, very efficient because you don't have capital, the type of capital which is available in US generally. Where at seed stage, you will get 2-3 million. They'll say, go and play around, right? That's not what happens in India, right? Sure, you have built the entire thing in $500,000, we have built the entire thing in $500,000. That doesn't happen in US. So leverage that, approach to leverage that is what I was referring to. So we moved from electric scooter to harvesting machine, agriculture. Then we created a spraying machine, again for agriculture. Then we created a lawnmower, autonomous lawnmower. We still deployed some of them. So it took a while for us, right? But if we wouldn't have done that quickly, without diluting on the core value of the product, maybe we could compromise a bit on look and feel. We could compromise a bit on probably the power and the running time and the waiting time and things like that, right? Peripherals. It was a very good way for us to establish the value in front of a customer and ask him the question, are you willing to pay for this product? If yes, how much? For how long? And in that process, am I as a startup able to make money and build a business out of it? Am I able to sell thousands of units, not just 5 to 4 units. That is iteration from a business perspective. It's not a product iteration. It's a business iteration, which is where rapid prototyping and these other techniques that we talk about, simulation and other ways, would really help you to go and still achieve the very fast, very cheap thing that we said. So that eventually you can go to a point where you say that, okay, now I have found what is the thing that I want to solve. And once you do that, then you have to go all out outside quality, go deep, build it out deep, build it 10x better, at least 10x better than what the nearest competition is. That is how probably I would say a good way to build product.
Great. Can you talk about couple of communities here, or couple of workshop places where actually people can go and pick the products, build their prototype rather than taking the whole everything. I mean, in Hyderabad there are a couple of available one. I was part of the community, but I'm not aware about Bangalore because I just moved home 1.5 years ago.
Talking about the prototyping communities, right? So we
Prototyping
have,
community.
IKP, we have T-Hub, sorry, not T-Hub.
T-Hub is in Hyderabad.
T-Hub is in Hyderabad, T-Works. IKP is one of the old ones. ISC has a big facility, Art Park, where you can go and build it out. But these are for prototyping, not just like going and fetching something. Then Russia will be able to share it if there are any other thing. They usually something called workbench, but I think in COVID times they stopped, right? And then there are some maker labs.
Maker labs.
Maker labs. Maker labs is where you go and Maker space, Maker labs. There are things for Maker labs, Maker space.
It's more like subscription, right?
Sorry. So I know one which is near Yaranka. There is Maker Labs, I think. Maker Space, I don't know where they are.
Maker Space is a bigger company. It's multiple places.
There was this maker space which was under a metro station.
That's Workbench. That's Workbench.
That's
closed.
right?
Yes, it's closed. It's closed as a metro facility. Yeah. IQB in Kurnola is very good. IQB is where you have almost all IQB there. And then, not sure. And then Art Park from ISC, which is again coming near me. Very good Art Park, ARTPRK from ISC. And then I think what Harsha is building is exactly solving that, right? How do you have an idea, go to him and then he'll be able to build it out. Any other community that you want to
I think that's about it.
So is it open for everyone? They can pay subscription and go?
The Maker Labs are more of a subscription-based thing. IKP is, if I remember, they have a co-working space also, and then you can go with a specific requirement. That I want to 3D print this, and you just pay for that. Right? So you don't need to actually take the subscription, monthly subscription or something. You can just go there and get your requirements fulfilled. I don't know what is the process right now. And rest of it was more of like co-working space. You take a subscription, go and go there and build products and other communities. Very similar to the co-working spaces that we have. But community is not just, that is one aspect of community, which is when you have something which you can do physically. But there are a lot of online communities on WhatsApp and all. We have a robotics communities in Bangalore. Actually, 2-3 communities. There is another community called Berlin, which is also a hardware specific community. Then we have a specific community for 3D printing, where all the people hang out. There's a community for for IoT as well, right? So there are quite a few, I think. Operate is taking off really well. Last couple of years, a lot of people have come together. Specific people are working in a particular industry, using a specific type of sensor for a specific type of manufacturing technique, or working in a particular industry, are coming together and making this community. So definitely, I think it's a good time to build. Is all I would say, because there are people out there, easy to connect, go, and again, the ecosystem is enabling you to do it faster because of these maker spaces and labs that you can go subscribe to. Anything that you want to add?
That's enough. Got it. Any other questions? Any other questions which you have? Yeah.
Sometimes like see what we are doing is we are taking the product from market and we are already selling it. So now when we are coming going to make it by ourselves, we don't find parts of it in India. How do you solve that?
Can you be a little more specific what product it is?
It's more maybe you can take lenses.
Which lenses? Camera lenses?
It's projector lenses. Projector lenses, smaller projector.
Did you go to Optica? Optics India. It's in Bangalore.
No, I have not.
Yeah, note it down. No, note it down, yeah.
But basically, even if you have to get some component from China, go for it. Right? I think these days it's very easy. Some of these companies, Robo.in, Robotics DNA, RoboKits, quite a few of them. Right? So whatever components you're not able to source from here, you can actually request them. They will source it for you. But if you're getting from US, DG is there. DG key. Just go put it out there and you'll be able to get it maybe 15-20 days. Some customers will be
In India, there is Element 14, there is RS components.
There are quite a few. So first is try to get on these sites. If you're not able to get on these sites, just go and get it from there. If you have to build product on your own, this is the only way out. You have to find out what is the supply chain, what are the components. When you are getting right now finished product and selling it to your customer, you are making on your own, right? That's what you are doing, right? So all the components you have to eventually anyways figure out the supply chain. But the best way to do it right now is people who already have that, and there are a lot of we call it CNF agents, right? You tell them what you need. They will be able to source it for you from China. Even at a very small MAQ, you'll be surprised, like 5 units. People will be able to help you in sourcing that, right? So that supply chain ecosystem is actually becoming very, very mature.
Sure.
Have you guys read about that there was a time with Infosys founder Narayan Murthy, he had to go to Delhi to get approved that he needs 30 GB RAM, 20 GB RAM. Right now, compared to that, right now we can just tell them and ship it.
Yeah, we are living in amazing times. Right?
Amazing times.
Up to us, everything is possible.
Right.
Adding to that, more resources. On 31st, KPTO IoT event is happening. The tickets will likely be available for free for you. Now, I'm not a promoter. I'm just adding more resources so that you can go and maybe get more ideas, or maybe just copy a big company, right? If there is an American company, you can make it cheaper. I'm not saying literally that, but yeah, make it for India, Yeah. So, I believe that, we shared about these resources. These resources are very important part of it. I believe that especially in this IoT industry, right? I studied in a college where there was computer science, there was ECE, then there was EEE, electricals, all this stuff, but all these people, they did C programming in the first year. After that, for some reason, they hate VLSI. They don't like it. The college doesn't have the infra to push it. They were EEE students, and I was the one who got the Arduino first, and then I was reaching to them that, hey, I want to do something cool with this, I just want to blink this. And there was not enough, resources available. And eventually I got to know about Engineers Hub, which was a community from Hyderabad. They also didn't have a lot of stuff. Then I got a couple of more events. I got to know more stuff. What I feel is in India, we don't have a lot of awareness about the community. We have innovative companies which are building for manufacturing, which are building for the healthcare. If we do these events more and more, or most importantly, we have people from the startup tales here. The startup tale is a community which basically takes your story, any innovative story, to the people. They publish about it. People will get to know more about it. And what would be better than having a very good community and building building good products around it, or helping each other. It's always not about having 30% in the company or partnership. It's about, he talked about one community. Now, if even a single person from this can go to that community, he will realize that he doesn't have to purchase lakhs and lakhs worth of resources, and it just helps out. So I really love this fact that we are doing this event, and we are especially going on those resources which can help you out. We will be doing a couple of videos as well. So if you know some unique communities, which people should be knowing about, then please reach to me. We'll be doing a couple of reels, 30 seconds reel or 1 minute reels, because this is the thing, the power of digital. When people realize that this is interesting, they will just forward it. Even if 1% of those people come to this community, you imagine the change which we'll be having. So, having said that, now it's the time to open it up for the networking. First, we will take a group photo. We'll stand here, we'll take a photo, and after that, we'll open it up for the networking.
Just one. So right now we are in the stage there is a trade-off between expansion and funding, you can say, right? So we have reached some areas, we sold our product. Now I guess to expand we just need some funding, and for funding we need expansion, right? So how do you manage that?
It's chicken and egg problem.
Yeah, absolutely, it's chicken and egg, right? And that's where again there's a fine balance that you need to strike. how much traction is good enough for me to get the valuation that I target, and how much valuation am I ready to do. Right? If money is there will always be a valuation, right? And if you think that you can continue on the same trajectory for some more time before you raise money and have better metric, do that. That's always better. You'll get a better valuation always. Right? But otherwise, it's purely a function of how much you're willing to let it, and what is the opportunity cost of not raising money. If you can do it without raising money, very good. If you cannot, if you raise it late, what is the opportunity cost? Right? The speed. And for that opportunity cost, how much equity are you going to right? Do that math and you will have your answer. If you want $500,000, you don't have a lot of traction. Do $500,000 at a maybe $2 million, $2.5 million type of valuation. But if you can wait for 6 months and probably raise $500,000 at $5 million valuation, show better than this. I think that's the way you have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is this company I was reading about today. Can we just take a photo and then just discuss and like get together?
We'll ask specific questions like 101. That will be good. Yeah, please.
I think it will be beneficial to everybody.
Okay.
So this company is called Symbolic. It's in robotics, and the founder had written something, and he said, I went to Walmart. I'm on this guy's point who's from Flow. Like, how do you choose a problem space when you said, okay, this business I want to do, it's in the business environment, right? And this is the problem space I'm utilizing, which I can scale up. So this guy, robotic guy, he went to Walmart guys and he basically, prototype. They ran pilot of his robots there, and now he has built a $24 billion company, right? So my point is, how do you identify that problem space, that market environment? Like each one of them. Why do you finalize on your problem space, on your market?
So I think it's very wrong to ask why I finalize, because I will have a different philosophy and somebody else. I'm just broad lines with different philosophies. Like sometimes you build because you want to run it for 3-4 years, you see a great market, you push off, you take your exit and you make money, go on. Sometimes you build because this is what you want to do for the rest 20 years, 30 years of your life. Right? And sometimes you just build because this is the right time and the right place to do this. Right? Sometimes you're born into the ecosystem. So I was born into the healthcare ecosystem. Right? So I own a hospital. There are hospitals there. Lots of surgeons and doctors in my family. Right? And I love spending time in operating rooms, and I like the smell of hospitals. Right? It's very therapeutic for me to be there. People are afraid of hospitals, I feel safe in a hospital. Right? Wहाँ पे heart attack होगा तो कोई बचा नहीं है. Right? That's right. So I was born into the ecosystem, and I really love that fact about healthcare, and that's why robotics and healthcare, if you put it together, then this is something that is already. So for me, that was the whole thing. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, true. Again, I think it's very user specific, but again, I have to give a framework which you guys can use when you are evaluating your ideas, right? So there are actually a lot of frameworks available. You can search on Google on how do I evaluate my idea. You get a lot of frameworks. There's a framework called real value work. Whether the problem that is solving is real, whether you're creating value, because only when you're creating value, somebody will pay for it. You might be solving the real problem, but there's nobody who is paying for it. Right? So there's a real, there's a value, and is it worth it for you? Maybe there's a real problem, there's somebody who needs to pay for it, maybe maybe somebody who's working for you, if you're not, you can say, doing a comfortable corporate job, right? So there are frameworks like that where you can say, okay, should I do something for this idea? Second is once you start, obviously when you start, most of the times, 90% of the time, when you start the idea in which you start, eventually evolves into something else. That is where this philosophy of finding out comes in, right? And again, you have to have some evaluation criteria, right? For example, as you said earlier also, I make something, somebody should be willing to pay for that. Somebody should be willing to pay for that enough so that I can make margins. And there should be enough number of people for me to sell. Right? So now these three things, if you combine together, and if answer to all three of them is a positive yes, you have a it's a real problem. You can build it. It's within the possibility of building it. It's not something that's impossible to build. There's somebody who's willing to pay for it, and that payment is enough for you to make solid unit economics margin on this, and there are a lot of people to whom you can sell to. That's all the same. Combine these 4 things, and if you have a product, you have a business account.
Great. Would you like to add something? Great. So this was an amazing event, and what a business would be without having marketing and sales, right? And this is where my introduction comes in picture. I am Rana Jayant. If you are looking for my contact, just search my name on Google, right? Rana Jayant. You will find my website. If you want my company is also ranked. We have driven 45 million plus traffic, free traffic from Google, and paid traffic is separate. Facebook, Google, anything which you want to target and do stuff, right? If you want audience clarity, how to reach to this audience, come to us, we'll define that. Here in India, in the US, any specific country, we got you, right? I deal with startups that are on a stage where they are trying to scale. We build tech, we build e-commerce, we do marketing, we do it on scale, considering your budget. If you want to reach specific level, you tell very openly, I have 10,000 budget only, will you be able to do it, right? Come with very straightforward expectation, we'll tell you. If we can't do, we will tell you the formula how you can do it, right? Then comes Dolly. Dolly is founder of WowCoder. WowCoder is a very early stage company focused web development company. They will build you website, they will build you e-commerce, they will get your brand name listed on Google. Now, last time when I was at Bangalore Tech Summit, I met a lot of tech companies that are building keyboards for military, that are building keyboards, like, if you drop it for 30 hours in water, nothing happens to that keyboard. But all these businesses had the website. Now, website, everyone has it. But when it comes to ranking on Google for specific keyword, like let's say that because they are selling military grade keyboard, they should be ranking for those keywords, keywords, right? When someone is searching for keywords for military, or there are specific terminologies in that, badged keyboards for this industry and that, rugged keyboards. So when they are searching for that, you should be ranking, and that is how you will be getting business. So if you have not realized your potential, you can still contact us and ask us that, what is my potential? How do I reach to this audience? How do I rank on this? Are there people who are searching for these keywords, right? And all the services for this, we won't be charging, we'll just telling you, and then going further, then service add up, right? So all these resources will allow you, and all these resources will allow you to be focused on your product, where we can look at marketing, we can look at tech, we can look at how to reach those people, and that is what we do. So once again, I'm Rana Jayant, a consultant. I have my company StableX and Next Commerce. She is Dolly, WowCoder. She was the host, and I was the co-host. Although I spoke more than her and stole her opportunity, I'm sorry for that. I'm an engineer, so I'm a little bit aware of the industry. So that's the reason why I tried taking it to make it relevant. So that's pretty much it is. Now let us stand and face this, and we'll take the photo, and then we'll open it up for the networking. Thank you.